so it's not like it's the big level 6 all in. That's just those orbs spamming out and really chunking out Duosec a little bit more than he was able to counter out. So
we do see initiation on the Bubba W. He does get stunned up. Don't Mash Me is going to go in. Ignite is dropped. Exhaust is dropped. We do have Pateau looking to go on to Bubba W here. Is he going to flash it? He flashes it. Pateau flashes forward, gets the red buff tag, looking for all the auto attacks. A flash and a shield of break with Pateau getting the last auto attack for the first blood for the side of Curse Academy. A nice counter play by him. They do not catch Robert Exley. He does run away through the tri-brush, but that is still a good play by Pateau to counter gank that initiation.
And just like that, we've got first blood. We're coming back. Top lane,
blood,
though. Second blood, one more. And it's the dice. And the peel.
Oh, Duosec going to get jumped on in the mid lane, too, with the auto-orange gank. So every lane had a kill.
Man, just everybody all over the map there. It's 2 for 1, but you got to give the auto-orange some credit for finishing that off with a kill for the side of Complexity Black. They do have Prolly back in that mid lane, and while Golden Glue did well enough yesterday, you got to look towards Prolly to be kind of the one carrying out this game. Does have the first and only kill for Complexity Black, but a lot of focus there from that jungle getting the kill up. Or down in the bottom lane, kill up top was just a 1v1, so nice job there by Rux.
Yep, and with that, every lane is snowballing respectively, but only probably coming out ahead in the mid lane. We do have Pateau taking a bunch of damage, gets stunned down, they back down, but Robert Exley did not go back to base. He stayed there, farmed an extra wave. We'll be picking up a Vampiric Scepter, while Don't Mash Me does go back to base a little early on. He was pretty low, so picks up a Longsword Potions. Looking for a little bit more sustain in that fight, but just kidding. He picked up a Doran's Blade, so looking for more of the combat stats on that Caitlyn.
Yeah, exactly. When you go on Caitlyn, you're talking early game, and you put on a lot of pressure, especially with such a huge range advantage over Sivir. So that's going to make it a lot more aggressive, like you said, in lane, but Sivir is building a little bit more towards that late game, towards that big first item, which will probably be a Bloodthirster.
Mm-hmm. Or, the Infinity Edge rush has kind of faded out from what I've been seeing lately. No one really builds the Infinity Edge first on Caitlyn and goes for the Shiv or anything like that crazy.
Well, I mean, you win team fights, but you kind of lose your lane.
Yeah, you just give up all forms of sustain, so looking for that lane dominance with the Bloodthirster when she does end up picking it up. Westrice and Rux just going at it up top. He does have the level lead after that first blood. Looking for a ton of damage to trade in on this one. Gonna look for the slice. Gonna get the Ruthless Predator up in time is the question, though. Burnout is available for Westrice. Needs a couple more seconds. Flash forward. Gets the Predator. Gets the Call of the Meek. And Rux going big on the Scorched Earth Renekton against Westrice.
I'm sorry. I just didn't know. Rux now 2-0 off of just a 1v1 lane. And that's pretty impressive because, I don't know, at least
you rarely see that.
Yeah, for the longest time, it's just been passive super tanks farming it up there.
Slapping each other.
Exactly. And keep in mind, the reason that Shyvana even came about in that top lane was as somewhat of a counter to Renekton. But Rux, man, really running this lane a little bit differently, going extremely aggressive from his early itemization.
Doran's Blade, wow.
Yeah, Doran's Blade start instead of shield, and not going for that Sunfire rush, going for the aggressive play.
He's diving Westrice at level 6. Dominus used to clear out the rest of the wave and to harass Westrice. So that is a snowballing Renekton if I ever seen one.
And that just means the top lane is going to be rough for Westrice. So it's probably going to be relegated to losing in CS, losing his turret, just trying to hang on in that lane, build enough tank items to get himself towards the mid game, and maybe be a force to help the rest of his team deal some extra damage. Probably not doing all that badly. Does have an amplifying tome and potions above Duosec, his lane opponent, and bottom lane's actually not that bad either. Even though Robert went for a second Doran's Blade, which is an early game item, he does have the early game CS numbers to match that.
I thought Rux was going to look to go in again. But we do see Duosec and Probably doing it out while down bot. High Sheep does get caught out. There was a nice shield to get away from the stun there, while Probably was forced to flash in mid lane away from Duosec after unleashing the power all over that Lulu, but it was not enough. As he just hits level 6, he shielded up most of the damage, it looks like. While Westrice and Rux going at it once again up top, slicing and dicing his way through the Ignite. Is it going to be enough? Yes! And Rux, on a killing spree, does actually heal up off the Call of the Meek in the middle of the wave and lives through his own Ignite, while Westrice was falling down to those minions. So 3-0 already at 7.5 minutes for a Renekton is something you never want to see.
Good Lord, that was a dominant performance by Rux, even using the skill by the same name to pick up his third solo kill in that top lane. And it's interesting to me that Auto-Orange, man, he's been mid twice, but it's it's not been something that he's gotten any help with. Because when you look towards top lane, especially when you have a lane that's losing very badly, what you do is you either say as a jungler, all right, I'm going to dedicate some extra pressure to this, maybe get mid lane to roam along with me, and then you just head up to that lane, try to turn it around. If you don't, you're saying, okay, well, that lane is lost, it's over, it's done, we're never going to go back to there. We're going to help our other lanes try to win even harder and maybe offset the degree to which that top lane is losing. So at this point in time, it's kind of interesting for me because it looks more like while top's done, the other lanes aren't really having that much success. Mid lane does have that only kill of the game for Complexity Black, but they got to bring it back somewhere because it's not going to happen top.
Yeah, and you guys can see us on the screen real quick. We're just working like what you hear right now, the game sound for you all.
Good sweet lord.
And it is loud. But yeah, so you guys are going to have a little bit more of that sound, and we're going to be good to go. We're going to switch right back in when we have a quick second. You're not missing anything, though. It's just jungler feeling buffs, blue buffs getting handed off to mid laners, and
it's where we get to radio cast.
Yeah. Oh, man, a ping comes in. They're not doing anything, but it just looks cool. But yeah, so just nothing to be missed.
And there we go. We're back in, and we have caster sounds, game sound, caster sounds. These are voices. We don't have like custom caster sounds just yet, but we'll get there eventually. All right, so back into a game that has everything you could possibly want. There's no lag. Well, it doesn't have everything that Westrise wants, which is just pretty much a lane to himself. Looks like it's still relatively even in other lanes, but man, that top lane's far behind.
Yep, and having a great time is Rux up there with that Renekton. 3-0. Goes for a Cutlass, looking for the Blade of the Rune King. Renekton, we've seen a lot of Bloodthirster. It looks like Polylol going to get initiated on here. Giant Growth comes in. They're going to slow him. He's going to try to turn around and stun Duosec, trying to take him with it, but it's not going to be enough. As Pateau going to pick up the kill with the red buff. We do see the man drop coming in down bot. Hayama Sheep, he's going to soak up most of that damage. Drops Exhaust. A nice solar flare on a 2. Can he get out of there? He flashes and is able to get through while Westrise and Rux are just dueling at it up top. The snipe comes down and it looks like Hayama Sheep is actually able to live through that one, taking it with that Leona. And we do see Vi looking to come back towards mid lane once again and push down this turret now that Prawley is gone. But Auto Orange, Bubba and Robert X. Lee going to do the same.
And man, you gotta look towards that the jungle pressure, really making a big difference this game. While the first kill of the game for Complexity Black came off of an Auto Orange gank, it's really just been Pateau, who has been all over that map. Dives top lane, Westrise got that extra mobility, whereas Rux does not. Westrise does make it out alive, but it went close.
At the coast of his ultimate and burnout, but we do see now Auto Orange looking to make the play towards the Dragon Pit, but decides not to and backs right on off. So gonna go farm up. Rux pushing that tier 1 turret, denying a lot of farm with that wave. We do see Tibbers actually drop down to the Hayama Sheep now. He pops that Eclipse and gets a whole butt ton of armor and magic resist. So they are going to just back off that. But that's a big cooldown now, as the Tibbers does have a fairly long cooldown in the earlier stages of this game.
Auto Orange sneaking into the bushes, though. He's coming out the bushes, about to gank your bottom lane up down there, and doesn't look like he'll be too successful. Nice ward put in there, along with Mr. Tibbers in there, being not a human ward, but a bear ward, an Ursine ward. Let's put it that way.
An Ursine? He's an Ursa?
I think so. Ursa's the bears, right? Ursa Major.
Red Team's turret has been destroyed.
I think he's
Candace Major, Big Doge.
Big Doge. Black and white Doge. But, alright, so Pateau's down bot as well. He was looking for a counter gank on the Pantheon, if anything. We do look to see them rotating towards the Dragon Pit. There are pings coming out. He does not have a pink ward at this point. Bubba did go back to base and pick up one for himself. And they're going to actually look to start up this Dragon, while up top, Rux and Westrise is dueling it out. The Dragon is going to go down fairly fast, and it looks like Curse Academy going to snag the first Dragon of the game and a 4,000 gold lead.
All right, so at long last, we've got everything exactly where we want it production-wise, sound. Everybody's caught up, no lag for anyone else there. But as far as the game is concerned, 5-1, a very strong early game start for Curse Academy. And after just watching them play their game last night against LMQ, that's a really big sort of test of your mettle. It's how well are you guys able to deal with very aggressive pressure out on the map. That's what Auto Orange put on early for Complexity Black, and now jumping into that mid lane, looking for some even better pressure. There's the stun, the counter stun as well, and Unleashed Power just not enough.
Spear? No, all right.
Okay, it was actually the Dark Orb take it down underneath that turret.
You know what's really weird about Pantheon Ultimate is that when you're falling down, you're actually physically on the ground already, so you can use that jump before your like actual physical body comes out of the air.
So you just jump straight out of the sky.
Yeah, you literally, before you land and that damage hits you, you hit your stun, and they're just like, he's not even down. How do you get to do that? And it's just ridiculous, and you saw an example of it right there, as Odd Orange wasn't even on the screen. We do see Pateau now getting actually caught out, forced a flash over the wall, and will just be able to walk right on out of there.
Yeah, he's going to head back to base, and for the time being, a nice little comeback there once again off of the Odd Orange pressures. So it's nice to see junglers really having an impact on how this game is dictated. Whereas top lane is kind of the opposite of that. There's no jungle pressure at all, just Rux running a train on Westrice.
I don't think Westrice really cares too much. It's going to be that giant tank anyway. But down bot, we do see the Solar Flare onto Robert XLE. Everybody's doing a bunch of damage, and Timbers comes in from Bubba, but is it going to be enough? It looks like no. Don't actually be able to pick up that kill. There was an Ignite drop into him, but he's able to run out of there in that turret. Not long for this world, but neither is Bubba, as it's going to be initiation on him by Sheep, who picks up the kill with the Eclipse. The Timbers falls. And that is one dead Annie, and so is that turret.
Oh my gosh. All right, so third of what is that? Third outer turret going down. We've got all three outer turrets down. And this time around, it's Odd Orange's turn to 1v1 Rux, who's been just running a trade, like I said.
Looking to possibly come in. Assault and Battery goes in. Gonna knock him up. Stun him up for a little bit. He's forced to flash away. Rux has Slice and Dice. There's Slice. There's Dice. There's the stun. The Call of the Meek is not enough, but Pateau will pick up the kill. Put himself on a killing spree. And that jungle top combination is 7-0-1 right now. Combined, but probably looking to shut down Rux. Can he get the Dark Orb? It looks like no is the answer to that one. Unless he flashes for it, looking for the stun possibly. Doesn't pick up the orb, doesn't throw it. And that's going to be the end of that one, as there was a 3-man push down bot that was looking to try to pressure a tier 2.
And man, after all of that aggression, it comes out much more in favor of Complexity Black. Even though the first dragon of the game, or in favor of Curse Academy. We've got the first dragon of the game. They've got a 7-kill advantage, and overall about 6,000 gold here at the 15-minute mark is not insurmountable, but it's a big hill to climb, or big mountain to climb. Ever since moving out to San Jose, I finally know what mountains look like. I come from Dallas, Texas, where, I don't know.
The land is flat.
It's a mystical legend of these things called mountains, and it's going to be Complexity Black climbing all the way up there, seeing what they can find at the top. But looks like there's some avalanches, some rock slides in their way. Hopefully they're not a flying Pokemon, because then it'd be super effective.
Speaking of being super effective, Odd Orange gets caught out here. Solar Flare comes in. Bubba was waiting on the side. Could look for the stun. Giant Growth onto High Machine to slow them all down. A nice stun comes in from Prolly, but it's not enough, as they will activate the hunt to look for more targets to kill.
Flash.
But they are bloodthirsty and force the flash out of Bubba right there, and they pick up the kill on Odd Orange.
Forced the flash out of Prolly, too, but that was a little bit later on when he got ganked in that mid lane. So Flash is down on, I think, every single member of Complexity Black, with the exception of Westrice.
He's on an island, though. It doesn't matter.
I wouldn't expect Rux to let him have that flash for very much longer, though, because it's a Blade of the Ruined King Renekton built up there for Rux. Usually you see a Tiamat, but that's actually kind of interesting itemization, because while Tiamat helps you kill minions really fast, Blade of the Ruined King helps you kill champions.
Yeah, you can chase no really fast. Westrice looking to trade. Actually, not at all. He should be running away from this one. The Glitter Lance, ooh. That's a nice little trick you can do. You put the picks on the minion and then draw the Glitter Lance and hopefully have it connect. We do see everybody looking to hold up from the side of Complexity Black up here on this top lane. But Pateau going to get caught out there by this, so the trap does not connect. Odd Orange is chasing this one down, getting a bunch of damage, gets slowed out by the Glitter Lance. The snipe comes. Oh, and it's going to be Westrice actually picking up the kill with the help of Robert XLee's snipe. Probably is going to be the next target for Rux, though, doing a ton of damage. The man drop is going to come in. Duosec is ignited, trying to get out of there while Odd Orange stuns up Rux. The shutdown gold goes over to Robert XLee, and they do actually end up picking up Duosec with the ignite from Prolylol and the harass from the orbs. But down bot, Don't Mash Me has been left alone to pick up a tier 2 and threaten now some potential damage on the inhibitor turret.
I mean, they really could have used Don't Mash Me there to help them fight that fight, but at the same time, turrets are turrets, man, and 4-1 now, really starting to get that insurmountable lead. Because just think about taking down 3 more turrets and what that's going to require from Complexity Black. They've got a team fight composition that requires Odd Orange to jump in and start the fight, and then follow-up initiations from Westrice, who really doesn't really want to be jumping into the enemy team just yet before he gets maybe his second big tank item. Has that Sunfire Cape, so at least that's going to be pretty good to keep himself alive, but needs to pick up that Randuin so that at least Sivir and Renekton aren't able to blow him up.
So when he finishes up that Randuin, it should actually be a little bit better for him. He can still fight Renekton with the Blade of the Rune King. We're going to see Assault and Battery now. Initiation onto Prawley, who is just getting blown up 1, 2, 3. Very simple. There was a two-man stun coming from Bubba, but it was not enough to save his life. Rux is currently joining the team in the bot lane, and that Dragon looking to go over to Curse Academy. They have a very dominant lead at this point. But will the Auto Orange be able to make a move to try to steal it? It looks like the answer is no, as they are going to give up their Dragon, and there it is. It goes over to Curse Academy.
Second Dragon of the game going their way, and now at the 18-minute mark. We said 15 minutes, there's about a 6,000 gold lead. Going up towards the 20-minute mark, it's going to get close to that mystical 10k gold lead, which kind of seals the deal. I'm not sure what the stats are so far this season, but we've only had one day to calculate them. 10k gold is a really big hump to overclimb, and now, or overcome. It's a mountain to climb, to overcome.
It's the amount of gold that they have to climb up.
There you go. Thank you. This is why we keep EGAT around, to say what I actually wanted to say, but somehow incapable of doing. Like landing Zenith Blades for High Mashif. Probably didn't actually want to go that deep underneath turret.
No.
Right then, there's anti-stun and a lot of damage, so just playing it safe for now. 4 outer turrets down, and second tiers in the mid and top, and there's the engage right onto Auto Orange, blow him apart. We got damage coming in the back onto Don't Mash Me, but he's so tanky there with that giant growth, and now Bubba Dub. Everybody falling down. Prawley, Auto Orange, it's a 3-for-0 exchange. They're not stopping.
A nice boomerang blade from downtown gets the double kill for Don't Mash Me. That's going to be a 4-for-none in favor of the side of Curse Academy, who are looking very dominant at this point and completely shutting down Complexity Black. And they're going to look for possibly their first inhibitor turret and or inhibitor of the game, as Westrice cannot hold them off by himself. There is Auto Orange being up with the man drop, if anything. I don't know if he's going to threaten it, though. Westrice does have the Dragon as descent, but everybody now moving up to zone away Curse Academy from this push. Bubba now having a stun, but cannot find anybody with the stun out there. And a really, really good push from Curse Academy, as well as some nice catches.
I mean, you can just see that top lane being the focus of that push for Curse Academy means they know where Complexity Black are weakest, and after going 0-4 in lane, it's nice to see Westrice pick up a kill, but I think it's a little bit too late. Curse Academy, they add insult to injury by taking down that blue buff. Won't look for a dragon because, hey, they've already taken all the dragons so far.
That's a lot of extra gold that they've been picking up from those dragons. There's the 11,000 gold lead, and Robert X. Lee is going to be a rough item behind. There it is. The PD was picked up. He's not going to long sword. There's a flash initiation onto Duosector, who flashes away. There was still stun in time from Prawley. There's a giant growth on a Pateau just in case he wants to keep on going in. But a nice flash out there by Duosec to stay alive.
A little bit preemptive dive there, because you're not going to be able to blow up a Lulu, at least not with this much ability power. Is going to have that giant growth. Wound up using the giant growth a little bit questionably, but hey, everybody stays alive, and that's the way Curse Academy want it. So they defend their second tier, or their first tier mid turret. They defend basically all their first tier turrets, with the one exception of that bottom lane. And the only way that Robert X. Lee was able to push that down was, of course, when the rest of his team was losing the fight elsewhere. So Mashme's Sivir is starting to get to that level, 3-0 and 4, and while the mid lane may be a little bit back and forth, jungle and top are so far ahead for Curse Academy. That top half of the map just has a giant flame mark on it.
It's giant.
They just pulled out their stamp and they just stamped it on that top half of the map.
This is our lane. We go here. No one else. Get out of here. But it's just, they need to start pressuring the inhibitor. They can look to bait out a Baron. They're really strong at this point. You see them clearing out the Baron on the pink board. Time Machine placing those out. And Duosec helping out with his own right there. It looks like they're trying to bait it out. It looks like they want to force a fight because they know that they're very strong. There's going to be an initiation onto Westrice, who was actually forced to flash out. A nice stun from Prawley onto High Machine, but it's just not enough for anybody to actually engage, as High Machine is very tanky at this point. But here comes the Dragon initiation, as it looks like Curse Academy want to be able to finish this one off very quickly. And with the Auto Orange kind of around, if he does time this ultimate right, it potentially could be really bad for Curse Academy.
Pantheon's got the man jump. Is he going to go in for it?
No.
It's the perfectly timed Baron. Even better timed smite there. Curse Academy grabbed the first Baron buff of the game at 22.5 minutes.
Really strong at this point. They have that nice 11-kill lead. They have a 4-1 Renekton play of the Rune King, 5-1 jungle. Going a little bit carry there. He's got the blade. He's got the brutalizer, excuse me, for some extra damage, and still the 304. Don't mash me, surprisingly, on that Sivir, having a really good showing against Robert X. Lee.
Yeah, Mash Me having a great game. The bottom lane, the upper lanes, top and jungle rather. Everything's just really working here for Curse Academy, and that's a little bit of an understatement because it doesn't do justice to exactly how they work. But at this point in the game, if you're Complexity Black, you just have to say, okay, well, we're going to focus all of our resources in one place, but they have to pick the right place, and that's why you can see Westrise moving forward, but not really looking to engage.
I love that.
More coverage.
God, I love Face of the Mountain so much. You saw 32 gold coming in from just one melee minion, and it's just like, you stack that up eventually, it's like, alright, this equals another minion, and then the gold racks up so fast from Face of the Mountain. We're going to look to see potentially catch potential coming in from Complexity, but it's still a Baroned up Curse Academy, and Don't Mash Me does get shielded up there, and they're going to try to take a free inhibitor top.
I don't know how free Complexity Black are going to look to let this be. They do drop that stun, and that's about as free as it gets. They just walk in, take the inhib, walk back out again, and there's not all that much that Curse Academy can't do.
I hope it's not lag, please.
I certainly hope not. We got about 5 minutes of spectator lag yet. So
what happens if the pause time runs out? Just doesn't let you pause ever again?
Actually, there's a couple of different ways, and I think they might have changed that. But back in my day, it used to be that the counter would count down, and when it got to 5 minutes, it would turn yellow. When it got to 1 minute, it would turn red, and then it would actually it would stay red, but it would start counting into the negative numbers. It used to be that it started counting back up at the end, and there's just weird stuff all over the place with timers, but it does look like everything is good again, and we'll get back into the game here in just a second. So when you look at, like I said, Complexity Academy, or not Complexity Academy, there's Complexity Black and Curse Academy. Curse Academy actually having a pretty good game so far, I think that's safe to say, but I don't know, Complexity Black, they really need to make their stand, maybe have a Fnatic push really work out, but instead, they have the exact opposite happen as Batu starts the fight.
There's no way Robert X. Lee could get away with that one, even with Flash and Barrier and the 90 caliber in the right direction. That's a nice pick off there, Batu using that. Batu, I don't know, it's Batu using that via Assault and Battery. They're going to look to catch him, bump it up now. They cannot disengage from this from the side of Complexity Black, and that is going to be everyone getting chased down. Rush is going through the entire back line at this point. Giant Growth comes in, it's just not enough to stop everybody. Bateau getting Unleash Power on him and tanking through all of that one. This is Mikhail's Crucible to keep Don't Mash Me alive, and this can actually be close to being game. 20 seconds left on two of the big members on the side of Complexity Black. And they're just going to be able to shove down these waves as these Nexus turrets should be falling relatively soon.
Yeah, minions cleared out there, but with respawns actually pretty short, won't be able to finish the game off just yet. Rux does make that slice through the wall, which is a pretty easy thing to fail, so nice to see him having the mechanics to get out of the base alive along with the rest of Cursed Academy. And so Complexity Black, they have their backs up against the wall, and not a whole lot of walls left.
Alright, so top inhibitor going to be spawning relatively soon. We do have, the bot inhibitor turrets still alive, so we could look to see them rotate for that one, or they could just look to ride the wave of super minions and just push down with those and try to get the Nexus turrets, or just, keep pushing bot and let the other waves do their thing with those super minions. But either way, this is a fairly new roster from the side of Curse Academy, and they're having a really strong showing against Complexity Black, who have actually been around for a while.
Coming in tonight, we talked about the idea of having new rosters and new players to start off this season. And while yesterday Complexity Black actually picked up the very first win for any team of Season 2 of NACL, it's like they're having a little bit of a rougher time here tonight. So we have the team that won yesterday in a losing position now, and the team that actually lost yesterday versus LMQ, First Academy, looking very, very strong. And keep in mind, while we do have a completely new roster for Curse Academy, this is the roster they're sticking with. They've got starters in every position, whereas with Broken Shard in Israel, Auto Orange subbing in, you know, he has 0-4 as his score, but those 4 assists are really a lot bigger than they seem, because he helped get the first 2 kills of the game for Complexity, and he's been involved in 4 out of 5. So a lot of good kill contribution. It's just the bottom lane difference right now.
It's huge.
Top lane too, I guess.
It's not even CS, it's just the kills that are just snowballing Curse Academy here. And 3 items completed on Sivir, very dangerous at this point, is still working on that PD is Robert Ixley. Xenoblade comes in over the wall, looks for Bubba. It actually just tips the Solar Flare. There's a giant growth in. I don't know who that hit. Duosec gonna try to help out his team, but Pateau actually going in, does go unstoppable, does take down Prawley, taking him a ton of damage. Auto Orange cannot kill him in time. Pateau will pick up the double, looking for the triple, but no. Duosec's gonna pick up that one, gets the shut off the snipe, comes in from Robert X. Lee, and that will be them backing out, actually. That was a good hold from a bit of a misengage there from I'm a Sheep, but I think Rux is calling for this inhibitor turret to go down in the bot lane. Robert X. Lee's going to do his best to hold this one off. It looks like he actually might be able to. Slicing and dicing his way in, though, is a Rux. They cannot connect the Glitter Lance, and they are having a tough time sticking onto Robert X. Lee right now, who is juking away very well, and that dive kind of went a little bit in favor of Complexity Black, even though they lost that last inhibitor turret.
I mean, that's a little bit of a questionable way to put it. While it does look like Complexity Black are able to hang on just a little bit longer. They've got a half-health Steve there left in their base, the last lone Nexus turret. That's what we've, the affectionate name we have given him while he is alive, yes. We're going to have to pay attention to Steve, want him to stay around as long as possible if you're a Complexity Black fan, but if you guys are Curse Academy fans after watching them play last night, it's going to be an awesome game to see them close out. They just have to be a little bit more careful about it. They did trade that a little bit unoptimally, but coming back out of base with just about every item you could possibly want. We have the makings of a Zephyr in the item coffers there for Don't Mash Me. We'll see if he can get that completed.
Not even selling boots for that one, too, which is pretty cool. So just going to flat out build that item. Not look for GA, not for look for anything defensive in a Banshee's Veil or, you know, the GA, like I said before. There's actually an initiation coming in for Complexity Black. They are going to send Westeros and the Auto Orange into this one. They do get a Zenith Blade in, though, from Hayama Sheep. He's zoning everyone away using Exhaust while Rux is on the back line with Pateau. Going to look for the Vaultbringer, but no, it's going to get him in range for an auto attack, and he's going to pick up the kill. He's out a double kill, looking for possibly the triple. Auto Orange is going to be the target. He flashes over the wall, slicing. He does not get the dice, but a flash from Hayama Sheep, and the surrender vote comes through. Auto Orange looking to not die here. Does not want to ruin the KDA, and he is able to live. But that is going to be game 1 over to the side of Curse Academy over Complexity Black.